Hello and welcome back to the Hardworking Man podcast. I'm Heath,
And I'm Rachel.
and fall is here. I can tell because we got the thermocell out and trying to defeat the mosquitoes.
Yes. If you don't know what a thermocell is, I'll show you, those who are watching.
They do work, even though I just had to swat at a mosquito.
These are the only reason why I will go out into the woods or outdoors at this time of night, this time of year.
We're not sponsored by them, but Thermocell, if you're watching, maybe get a hold of us
I
because we love that
know.
thing.
And I like free products, so.
No, not necessarily. We get offered free products by the freaking hundreds, and I get sick of deleting the emails
Okay, because we
they're
get
the
really
dumbest emails
weird.
ever.
Really
Like,
weird ones.
hey, hardworking man, we love your TikTok channel. Would you like this waterproof mattress cover? Like, first of all, we don't have a TikTok channel. Oh, I guess we do now. We do have a TikTok channel. There's nothing on it, but we have one. We're gonna have one. That's her job. But I don't need a mattress cover. I just don't. That's not what we do.
Or
We
like
do
women's jewelry.
or dress clothes or a suit and tie. Like I wear a suit and tie once every 3 or 4 years. I don't need one. But so yeah, we love free products that fit the channel that are worth having.
If I didn't have to make a video showcasing the product.
Oh yeah, if people just want to give us free stuff, we'll take it.
Yes,
I mean a lot of stuff.
I didn't say I like free product that I then have to produce a video for. No, I like free products.
And if you ain't gonna let us be honest, don't waste your time sending us an email.
No
don't tell me
attached.
I'm gonna send you this product, but you have to say this. I'm already done with you, even if it's something I really want, because unless I know that I've had the product and I'm willing to say that, you ain't gonna tell me what to say.
Well,
unless you got a lot of money.
There are certain products though where you cannot make claims because of like regulations.
Right. So yeah, they can tell you what you can't say. I'm fine with that. But yeah. Anyway, that's not what this is about. But when we were getting ready, Rachel just had to sneeze, and let me ask you, like, I do what they call a dad sneeze. Like, my sneezes are worth money. Like, I get it out. And they're all like, oh my gosh, Dad, what'd you do that? Well, how come you're so loud? They're not dramatic, they're effective. Women's sneezes are like little mouse farts. They're like, ping! Like, what does that even do?
My sneezes not.
Yours was better than that, but I mean, my sneezes are legit, so legit.
Your sneeze hurts our ears.
One time I was walking, and I had my phone in my hand, and I was walking, and Rachel and my daughter Megan were sitting on the couch, and I sneezed so hard, it popped a rib out of socket.
It flew.
And then my phone went flying, and I went crashing to the floor.
Yeah.
And these guys thought I was having a heart attack, and so what'd they do? They laughed incessantly at me, thinking I was on the floor dying. Cause
initially, we assessed the situation.
No, they thought it was funny.
No, you don't know. You laid there for a while, and we were silent because we didn't know what happened, and we looked at each other. We looked at you.
No one got up to help. No one got up to do the CPR or get the
you were just
little
lying
shock thing.
There. You were like,
yeah, you should have been like, oh my gosh, is Dad okay?
No, yeah. Well, we looked at each other like, did you just see that happen? Like, what's going on? And we didn't know what was going on. And then I started thinking, replaying it in my head, and it was really funny.
It was not funny. I was in excruciating pain. If you've never had a rib pop out, it doesn't feel good. Oh my gosh. I remember the first time it ever happened to me. Like at first, it didn't hurt. I was coaching Little League and I went to throw BP, and I was not, like, I'm usually fairly accurate with my throwing, and I was just beaning kids, and I was missing the strike zone by 4 or 5 feet. And I was like, I don't know, man. Someone else has to throw. And then I went to bed that night, and I woke up in the middle of the night in the most excruciating pain. Like, I didn't know what was happening. And I ended up figuring out it was something. Went to the chiropractor. He's like, oh, you got a rib head out. And he popped it back in. Oh, my gosh. So if you've never had a rib out, you can be happy. Because if you do.
I remember Joe had a rib out when he was, I think it was a freshman year
they hurt.
Wrestling.
Oh, yeah. They're so painful.
But he didn't tell us for... It was at least 2 weeks.
Yeah, Joe was a silent. Our oldest son is the silent one.
Silent
he never needs
sufferer.
anything.
You don't ever know.
He never needs. We're like, what do you need for nothing? What do you need for clothes?
Like,
nothing. What do you need? Nothing. Doesn't want anything. But then he'll be like, oh, you don't got any clothes. Like, Mom's tried to take you shopping how many times? You know, like, it's not. So ribs out, needing clothes, whatever. He's his own person.
He would be in pain and never tell us anything. And then Nathan is the opposite. Nathan's like,
Oh, yeah, our
the
third
hair
son.
on my head hurts. Like, something that doesn't even, I got a paper cut. And then we're like, okay, what do you want us to do?
I don't know, but it hurts. Like,
Yeah.
Nate, it's fine. Like, you still have to go to school.
He
Like,
tells
and he likes
us,
school. He's not trying to
no,
get out
he's
of
not trying
school,
to
but
get out of
man.
it. He's not trying to get out of anything. He's just telling us everything. And he also utilizes Google to see what his symptoms match up
Oh,
with.
yeah, so his paper cut turns into probably having a stroke and his cholesterol's high.
Yeah, there's he definitely comes to some big conclusions. Though Zach also Googled his symptoms and he was pretty spot on. So he has,
Well, he's our youngest, and he is potentially facing surgery for the first of any of our children.
yeah,
He has, either a torn meniscus, a torn ACL, or a bad knee bruise. And I don't think it's a knee bruise because he did it literally bending over to pick up a tennis ball. Something in his knee popped. It swelled all up, got hot, and he just said, it doesn't hurt, it just feels funny. And so we took him in, and they're like, yeah, it's probably either a torn meniscus, ACL, or bone bruise. And
they ordered an MRI, and
which
we
we
just
got done.
had
Now
that
we're
done 2 days ago. So now we're waiting. We have an appointment in 2 days to find out the results and course of treatment.
He
But-
says if he needs surgery, he's running out
Yeah.
of there. I'm like, bro, you ain't running nowhere. You're on crutches and a knee brace.
Which is unfortunate because it's his freshman year of varsity tennis.
He
And
was won doubles.
They were killing it. They were like taking first in everything that they were doing. And then this happened. So kind of bummed.
The only, I guess, I'd rather have it happen to him as a freshman than a senior. You don't
Yeah.
want to lose your senior year.
Oh,
We're coming
gosh, yeah.
after tennis. We're coming into wrestling. Our senior Nate, I think, is going to be an absolute monster this year. Zach is a great wrestler and a strong athletic kid, but our team is stacked this year. We're going to have a great season, and Zach probably wasn't going to be varsity. So that means a JV tournament and a varsity tournament. We got kids in 2 different places, which means Rachel has to go to the JV and watch that, and I get to go to the varsity and watch that.
I like how you don't even go to, it means one of our kids won't have anyone there because you'll be at work.
Well, it depends if I'm at work. But Rachel's team mom, so she's going to have to make double batches of brownies and cookies and all that because she
I
makes the best
would.
brownies and
Oh,
cookies
gosh.
ever. But with Zach, if he's possibly going to be on the IR all year, if he needs surgery, it means we only have to go to the varsity
Yeah.
matches. So
Does mean that.
I'm pushing for surgery.
I don't. Yeah. I mean, the guy said, you don't ever want to do surgery on a 15-year-old, but if it means that he won't have a terribly arthritic knee when he is in his 40s, then that's what you have to treat it now.
We're hoping
And
that's
yes,
not it. Hopefully he can heal up on his own. But
that's always my goal for, kid sports. I'm like, I do not care what your record is when you're 15, 16, 17. Like, your senior year record in sports means literally nothing in life. It
does mean something because it means that you see the reward for the work you
Well,
put
it
in.
means something at
It
that
isn't going to
point.
make you millions.
If you're 40 and you keep talking about your senior year,
yeah, it doesn't mean anything.
it means
as
you've
far
not
as
done
that
anything
goes.
else interesting in life. If that's the best you've done.
We all know those people, and if you're one of those people, we're sorry.
'Cause nobody cares about your senior year. We'll tell you. It's the facts.
Is
Ooh,
that a bee?
that was a bee. I'm so sick of bees.
Rachel hates bees. I'll tell you what, the bees, bees are a warm weather creature. But this year,
No,
when
they're
we go
always in
some places
September.
and it's cold, it's Michigan. So this time of year, it could be 85 degrees out or it could be 45 degrees out. We've been places and it's cold, miserably cold, windy, and the bees just don't care this year. They're out in force this
Just
year.
think about it, though. Every year now it's getting into let's go to the apple picking, the apple orchard,
Yeah,
the
I
donut,
guess there's
cider
that.
donuts at this time of year. And what is swarming? Bees. They're everywhere. I
But
don't
when it's
wanna
cold,
go.
they usually go away.
Well, they kind of don't fly as much.
They don't care this year, man.
No,
I know
they're-
flies, they get all super slow and you can get them easy when it's cold, but bees don't seem to care.
Well, yeah, especially like if you have any
Well,
food out
wasps.
at
We're
all.
not talking honeybees. We don't kill or hate honeybees. We love honeybees, but we're
Well,
talking
these-
wasps. We're talking hornets. We're talking wasps.
Well, I
we're
call
talking,
these bees.
I
They're
guess,
black and
bumblebees.
yellow.
Everything but honeybees can die.
Well, they come and they swarm food. Like, I went to Joe's baseball game the other day and I brought him some Jimmy John's and he ate like most of his sub and then wrapped it and set it down on the ground next to my stuff. And then probably 10 bees were in there And he's like, well, I guess we're done.
I didn't go to Joe's baseball game because he is the #1 starter on his college baseball team, and he wasn't going to play because he twisted his ankle playing basketball the night before.
Yeah. Well, because for his fraternity, it's like this whole like pledge week, or I mean, they do all these activities to try to get more guys to join the fraternity, and they have like so many spots available, and this is all just like meeting. Like this was a night, he said, where there were parents there, so they were like talking to parents, which I didn't even know that was an option.
Yeah, we never got invited to parent night.
Again,
like I said, Joe
anything.
Doesn't tell us anything.
So he was there, and like some of the parents were talking to, I don't know who they were talking to, not him. And so that they had like younger kids, middle schoolers with them. And so he was like, oh, let's, they were playing and kind of like challenged him. So it wasn't like an intramural basketball thing.
No, it was just bad.
He was just kind of goofing around with these, keeping the kids occupied where the parents were talking. And he said he like went to do a layup and stepped on one of the kids' foot and just rolled it. And it's bad.
And
like it's so black and blue, and he can't pitch with it.
Us as a family, I don't want to brag or talk about my high school days, but we're pretty athletic. And like me and most of my kids and Rachel, like we're good at most sports that we play. Basketball is one that just doesn't jive well with our family. Our daughter was pretty good. She could hit the three. And then our youngest son was all right. Yeah. But when I say good or all right on our standards, it's still not good by other people's standards. Like that's just not our sport. So Joe probably shouldn't have been playing it, but he was.
It was just middle school kids. He was just
and he still got taken out. Like
I don't know.
We're not ball players. We're golfers. We're baseball players. We're badminton players. We're ping pong players. We're tennis players. We're wrestlers. We're not basketball players.
It's like the best thing ever, I think, when they're like, our family is competitive regardless of what it is that you can be competitive for. It does not matter. And
oh yeah, it could be anything.
Like
who can hold their breath the longest, or
they always
eat
win.
the most of hot food or whatever.
Like when Zach was in driver's training, he said there was some, like who could name the most like street signs. And if you got so many, like they had to go up and like face each other and then knock each other out. And he's like, yeah, so I won. And I was like, of course you did.
Yeah, we do win a lot, whether
like
it's
anything. If there's something at school, then the kids are always like, oh yeah, I won. I go, of course you did.
Or when it comes to picking, they're like, I want Postma on my team. Like everyone goes for Postma.
I'm like, that's because we're good somehow.
Because we compete with each other no matter what, so they're ready for it.
Like where the jack of all trades, a master at none, but we're good at like everything. And we always want to compete.
We're very humble, also. We'll have people like when they come over and play board games, they don't know what they're getting into. Like,
no.
I once was attacked by her because when we would play Clue. Like, I win. I destroy my entire family in Clue. And they don't know. I mean, it's sort of what I do for my job. My mind works different than a lot of people's. But I take notes on my little sheet the whole time. So they saw me taking notes. And so at the end of a game, when I once again dominated, they tried to take my sheet to see what I'm writing, which is none of their business. That's confidential information.
Like, I want to know your strategy.
So I had to grab my sheet and eat it so that they couldn't get my information.
And we're trying to get it. He's running away.
She knocked my drink over and then grabs an ice cube and whips it at me and beams me right in the eyeball. So I was in immense pain, but still managed to swallow my Clue sheet so they couldn't extract the information.
So
and now they just won't play me anymore.
It's not any fun.
They're sore losers.
Yeah, will you play Nathan in Monopoly?
No.
No.
Heck no. Ain't nobody playing Nathan in Monopoly. It's no fun.
No.
He destroys you.
Right.
He shows no mercy. And he cheats.
He does not.
Yeah, he does. He teams up with other players. It's not fair.
Well, he convinces other players to sell off their stuff.
You know what I'm proud of in Monopoly? That I don't flip the board anymore. Because when I was young, our family never completed a Monopoly game. Because when I started losing and things weren't going my way, if you flip that whole board, the game's over. There's no replacing everything. No one knows what they had, and I was a terrible little kid.
I feel like you would have flipped the board all the time.
I flipped the board a lot. I probably ruined family game night more than I didn't. But I don't flip that board anymore. I'm teaching my kids how to be respectful.
That's probably
and
why
lose
we're like,
with dignity.
Let's play games, and you're like, I don't know about that, because it's going to take a lot of maturity.
I still play and I still win. I'll play. You guys won't play me in games I win. And then when like I said, my mind works a little different. So when we're playing a game, Remember, I played her family at the cottage. We were playing rummy. And I don't even remember how that game works, but somehow, the first time I ever played it in my life, I devised a strategy
I think
to
you
where
played it wrong.
I could hold so many cards so that I waited until I could lay everything down at once instead of laying stuff down as I went. So then I had the most cards, and they all thought I was going to lose big, but I was strategically waiting. I believe this is how it went, until I could lay everything down at once. So I had all these cards, and then I figured, boom, I hit. I laid everything down, and they all got mad and said I couldn't play like that, because then they couldn't play off my stuff because I still was holding it.
You had different rules. I don't think
I don't think I did. I think I just took the rules,
the thing
interpreted
I don't like
them,
about rummy
and then won.
There's always like house rules. So no matter who I play with, there's different rules. It's however you were raised playing it. What game?
I wasn't raised playing it at all. I just
I
watched
know.
it, learned it, and defeated you.
That was so many years ago. I'm glad you remembered that.
It was a great win. It was a great victory.
25 years
No
ago.
one will play me again.
It seemed like there was some game we played at a Christmas at my mom's house once, and it was the same kind of thing.
Euchre, I remember I took her to a euchre tournament for guys I work with, and it was a bunch, it was like, not all guys I work with, but it was a guy I work with put it on, and it was a bunch of his father-in-law's friends, and Rachel didn't even have to win, and these guys were just giving her money. Like, they would win, and then they would give Rachel money. Like, the one guy won a jackpot and gave it all to Rachel, and I'm like, what the heck? And then I go to a golf outing with these same guys, and I've known them for 2 or 3 years, and I walk up, and they're like, oh, it's Rachel's husband.
Yeah.
Like, they don't even know my name. It's just, I'm now Rachel's husband, because they just love her, and they give her the money, and they don't even know my name anymore. Like, oh, how'd you do at euchre? Did you win? No. How much money? Why do you have all this money? Oh, all the guys gave it to me.
That was George.
George gave her all the money, and some other people
Gary.
did too. Yeah, George, Gary, all these guys giving her all the money.
I made friends. Okay.
Oh, none of my friends give me no money.
None of my friends give me no money.
Yeah, people always talk about how I talk. They're like, where are you from? I'm born and raised in Michigan.
They say you have an accent. And you go, I don't know why them people been saying I got some accent.
I just don't talk right. Everyone thinks I'm from down south, and I spent a couple months in Texas for the Air Force. That's it. That ain't it. I just don't talk right.
You know what, though? My stepdad talks the same, and it's like a back country thing. I don't know. My mom always would make fun of that for a long time. Like, why do you talk like that?
I don't know. It's just how I talk.
I always think it's because you listen to
She
much
makes fun of me
rap,
all the time.
Like when you're a teenager, so you have a little bit of like that kind of a thing going, and then you have the country aspect. And
Your stepdad ain't listening to rap.
no, I don't know why, but he listens to country music, so you just pick it up.
I don't know.
If I literally like went and lived in Australia for a month, I'd come back with an Australian accent. Like
You could run for president.
I pick it all up. I would start talking however the people around me talk. Because remember last time I said when I talk to somebody and I pay attention and I pick up all the nuances and how they say things.
Oh my gosh, having her retell a conversation is
You
painful.
already made enough fun of me last time.
Enough about that.
You and your noises. Just right there. Instant ick. Gives me the ick.
Oh my gosh,
You
who
walk in
doesn't
the
do
house
that?
and you go,
No. That opens up my chest. Like when I do a big sigh, she's like, what's wrong? I'm like, nothing's wrong. Like there's no issue. I just, like it feels
in
good.
The home, anytime you walk in the door, it's
big sneezes, big breaths,
like,
open up the chest.
What are you
keep
so
these
exasperated with?
lungs like a late teen, early 20-year-old. Like that's why I'm in such good shape, because I breathe. I get that air in them lungs. You should try it.
You do it when people sigh for like, if you're like, oh, see, how do you know your kids aren't doing that when you say, hey, Zach, I need you to do the dishes.
No, because theirs is timed.
And theirs is like, maybe
because they make an
air.
No, that's not even true, because they don't do it otherwise. I do it for no reason, because it's me just relaxing. They do it when you're like, hey, can you do this? And then it's more of a
the more you complain about me telling you stories just means the less I'm going to talk to you.
Oh, whatever. Yeah, I like your stories when they're good. I don't like when you make me relive the painful ones.
I will just not.
As a realtor, there's painful stories. Like not all your clients are great. Mm-hmm. And so when she's retelling me, talking to another agent or a client or whatever, and she gives that sound that she does, like it's probably accurate, but man, it's just Like, why would you make me relive this when you're telling me how terrible your
I
day
just
went?
want you to understand.
I do understand, and I'm grateful for all
Make
that you do.
relive it.
It's
Sir,
true.
all of your work stories aren't always exciting.
Some of them are, though.
Some of them are. Some people only like you because of your work stories, I think.
I know. I have great stories. I'm a great storyteller.
They're like, I love Heath's work stories. I'm like, really? Because they like put me to sleep half the time. Because you are like, okay, so
Well, you got to lay the groundwork for
yes,
them.
you
can't
lay
just
the
because if you just
groundwork.
go into the end of the story, nobody knows what you're talking about. So
But
you
I
gotta
feel
you
like
need the build up.
I don't feel like we need a history lesson to get to the point. I feel like you can be like, oh my gosh, this happened. And then people can then
But
ask
people
questions.
don't understand why it happened.
Yeah, and then they
I
can
eliminate
go,
all questions
you
throughout
do.
the story.
You don't let anybody ask a question. But
They don't
then
need to by the time I'm done.
that
They
means
know
you've
everything.
dominated a conversation for 15 minutes, not letting anyone else talk. And then they're like, okay.
That was awesome.
Like, let them ask questions, engage, have a conversation. You're like, let me tell you, this happened. And then you just go on and on and on and on and on. And a lot of times, see, I can say that because most of your good stories I've heard 15, 20 times.
Yeah, see, so it's old news to you, and you have had that joy in your life. These other people haven't. Because I get some good, interesting stories. So, I mean, you never know what's going to happen out in life or at my job or just in anything. So, but, oh, man, open up them lungs. She just did it.
That doesn't open up my lungs.
Yeah, it does. It clears that chest out. Maybe you don't have all the issues I have from being in the military.
No. So, we are thinking about doing an actual fall cleanup this year. Typically, we just get too busy. I mean, with once the weather hits,
We need it. We need a homestead revival.
we're like all of a sudden, I don't know what we get too busy with.
We're always busy.
But like our whole backyard,
It's a
patio,
travesty right now.
it's a beautiful paver brick, huge, enormous
I'm ashamed to show you
patio.
what it actually looks like right now.
And we have a balcony, and so it's like the whole underneath the balcony, and it's all these brick archways. It's gorgeous. And Heath likes to store a lot of things underneath that brick archway.
Because I need a pole barn. Any
And
pole barn sponsors, hit us up. I won't delete your email.
We didn't do a spring cleanup, so it's full of leaves from
No, I've
last
cleaned those
fall.
leaves several times. We live in the middle of the
No,
woods.
you haven't.
Yes,
Not
we live.
once.
I have several times. She
Not
doesn't
this
know
year,
all the
you have
greatness.
not.
Yes, I have. 100%. The thing is, we live in the middle of the woods, and our patio that she's talking about is a collection point for leaves. You can literally clean it, and a few days later, it's back full because however the wind blows in this circle of woods that we live in, it blows the leaves into there.
But
I've cleaned it.
There's not dead leaves all
and-
summer long.
Yeah, there is a lot. Well, because I can't always get them all because there's a lot of stuff under there, as you mentioned. So I don't get them all.
Well, all
I'm
of
not
your
100%
outdoor
efficient.
Cooking things needs to be done.
My
It all needs to
propane
be
tanks need to be
cleaned.
filled. The flower garden that has turned into a weed garden, we need to absolutely just decimate it and start over square one.
It just needs to be
We're going to.
fall
We're gonna-
cleanup,
we're
where
gonna
you
fall
just
cleanup.
cut all the dead away.
You should see my dedication. My entire life, my plan for my lawn is for it to die so that I don't have to keep mowing it. But now, as I am becoming more wise in my age, I want a nice lawn for my lady to be able to walk out in barefoot. And we have some sweet zero-turn mowers. People like watching Rachel mow the grass. They like the mower comparisons. So I went to the store today. I never in my life ever have bought like weed and feed for my lawn because, like I said, I didn't care. I didn't care if there was weeds. I didn't care if it was dead. I didn't care. But now I want a nice lawn. I bought a lawn roller. I got the nice mowers. I went and bought some weed and feed. Whew, talk about some money. I see why people don't care about their lawns. 3 bags of weed and feed was almost $300. Like, just to make my grass grow, so I have to buy more gas to mow it more. But that's what we're going to do because we like mowing lawns with our new mowers because they're awesome. We never had awesome mowers before.
Well, it'd be nice if it looked. So we have a kid graduating in the spring.
Yeah, so
in the spring, so we're gonna have
the
to
open houses.
we're gonna have to have an open house again.
When
which
you
means
normally have my life, it means that there's a lot of work to be done in like a week or two because I let it all go all year.
So I said, let's do all the stuff we want to do in the fall, so that we have minimal things to do come spring, because It's too busy to try to get it all done in the spring, and it's been neglected.
It's
This
been
whole year
overly
has been neglected because
Not because we are lazy and neglect it, because
Yeah.
we've been so busy. Overtime at my work in the summer, that's when you work it. Like this is the first days off, and as long as I can remember that I haven't been called for overtime because it's the end of the fiscal year. The overtime budget has been worked down. And so now I'm in a point where I'm not going to be getting all the overtime. But when the overtime's there, I crush it because it helps buy the stuff we do. It helps pay the bills. It helps catch up. It helps do all that. But you got to get it when it's there to get. So I got it when it was there to get. Now it's gone. Now we got to do things like the flower garden, like our string lights that broke earlier this summer, and I took them down to fix them, and I had a project in mind, and they're still down. And my son was doing the pond in our flower garden back here, and I was like, don't do that. I want to do it on a video. So where he left it 3-4 months ago is where it still sits, but now it's all got the algae. And like, I have unrealistic expectations for myself. I'll tell Rachel, I'm like, hey, I'm off work. We should be able to get this video done, this video done, this video done, and this video done. And at the end of the day, we get maybe one or none or maybe two because they take so long to do, and everything takes time, and unexpected things come up, like, oh, you got to run Nate his tennis shoes, or you got to do this, or you got to do that, or I got a showing, or I got client phone calls, or my mom's calling because she has something. So I mean, oh my gosh, I always have these crazy ideas like, I can get this done. It's going to take me 2 hours. No, it's going to take you 8.
Like, well, we were just discussing because next week is the Paul Bunyan Show. So
which is a blast.
We have 7 days approximately until we're leaving.
And we like to bring some gifts for people. So I have some awesome stuff I'm going to be bringing. We're going to be giving out. There's a lot of great people there. And I think I can get all this stuff done.
He's like, well, we can record. We're going to get at least like this many videos recorded. And I said, no, we're not. Because you're working the next however many days, which means he's not like...
I work 12-hour shifts, so it's tough to do a whole lot extra. Shifts.
Once he does get home, it's usually dark. There's no filming going on. And then the boys are getting like towards the end of the tennis season, so they're like getting on these matches.
Districts and
they have all-day tournaments even during the week. So we have like all next week is like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is full. And I said, I don't know when you think we're recording all of these videos. Like, I just want you to be...
I got plans.
Yeah, he's like, what? Because he doesn't consider. He just throws it out there.
No, there should be no other schedules but mine. You shouldn't have to do anything else. The kids shouldn't have to do anything else because I don't got time for that.
Like, let's set some realistic expectations here because otherwise he'll go, I can't ever get anything done, and he gets very upset and overwhelmed and, like, angry about it. And I'm like, but you didn't even look at... what was happening. Like, you need to be prepared.
My schedule is a full schedule. There's not really room for other schedules in mine.
No, you wake up and you're like, all right, let's get this done. And I'm like, I have other things that I have to do. You did not schedule me.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
And he's like, what are you talking about?
But speaking of the Paul Bunyan Show, if you're going to be there, we will too. We're going to have some swag to give out. We got this shirt on from Ken's Cuts.
Shout out to Ken.
He just sent us a nice care package with a nice letter, and he makes the fire starters like we do. He says we inspired him to just, chase it, just to go for it. Because we tell people, you don't know unless you try. The key to success is failure. I say that all the time. I feel like I coined it. I don't know if that's a real thing.
You did not coin it.
I coined that phrase. I never heard it, and I came up with it.
He heard his wife say that a lot because she reads books and reads
I always think I come up with ideas, and then I Google it.
It's because I tell you in my talks. And then
when you're sleeping. She talks in her sleep like crazy.
That's not what I'm talking about.
But I always come up with ideas, and I'm like, oh my gosh, no one's ever thought of this. And then I Google it, and I'm like, they thought of this in 1984.
Literally, I've said that to the kids. It's something to tell your kids.
If you ain't failing, you ain't trying. So it happens.
It's okay to fail. It's if you don't learn from your failure that makes it not successful.
So I've learned a lot in life. I've learned a ton.
Anyways, we will be at the Paul Bunyan Show, and we're going to be there all 3 days. Usually we will come down on a Friday and then be there for the Friday night. Dan from Back 40 hosts a live stream.
It's a riot. It's a blast.
If you don't watch Dan from Back 40, you should. And every single Friday night, I don't know how long has he not missed?
Oh, a couple years. He hasn't missed a single Friday night.
He has a live stream where he goes live, and it's not necessarily that what he's talking about is like the most interesting to tune
Dan,
into.
You're boring. No,
it's not that
she's not saying that.
It's not that he has like super, it's not. That's not.
He's not giving out like breaking news stock tips or anything. It's just the community comes together.
There is a live chat. That's where the fun part is because you go into that live chat and everybody talks to everybody. That's where if you hear us talk about the community of the Woodhounds, which Dan coined that term. He did come up with that one.
The Woodhounds is Dan. People say it all the time.
Yes.
Like, it's crazy to think that somebody like Dan, I started watching him when he was brand new. And Outdoors with the Morgan, same thing. Like some of these channels I watched years ago when my kids wanted me to do a YouTube channel and I didn't. And like Dan just started doing firewood and started doing the stuff, and then he coined the Woodhounds. And now you hear Woodhounds, like it's probably in the dictionary.
Talks about Woodhounds.
Like the Woodhounds,
yeah,
like it's a thing. Like that. It's just neat that you, just as a person, they have the Woodhounds podcast. Him and Joe from Ohio Woodburner. Like it's just neat that just regular everyday people can have a YouTube channel and just share their lives with you. And like we do a lot of other stuff, comparisons, and try to help people as much as we can, but like you can create something that is going to probably live on, who knows, maybe forever, like the Woodhounds. Like it's just Dan called them the Woodhounds, and now it's a thing, like a term that people don't even know where it originated from. They just
know
say
that's what
it. They just know it's a thing.
Firewood, you're a Woodhound. But so that's where the fun is there's a live stream and people comment and talk, and Dan will pull those comments and like discuss them, and like, if that you ask him questions, and then, whatever he says stems more conversation in the live stream. And that's where we got to know a lot of people.
Yeah, you get to know people, you chat with people, and Dan said it himself, and everyone will agree. If you're only going to see one Friday Night Live, the one from the Paul Bunyan Show is the best one of the year. It is pure organized chaos.
It's live in person.
It's live. The Fairfield Inn in Cambridge, Ohio is packed with people. If you're in the area, come down. Everybody's welcome.
If you're at the show, even if you're not,
just come to the Fairfield Inn, Cambridge, Ohio. It is a blast, and you don't want to miss it. So check that out if you haven't. I'm sure most of you know what we're talking about, but if it's new to you, don't miss that one. It's going to be whatever the first Friday in October is, the second or third. Fourth.
The fourth, I think.
Whatever it is, it's going to be them. I think he starts it at 8 or 9. So don't miss that.
Yeah. But we usually come down, we've only gone 2 years now, right?
Yeah, but it feels like we're veterans.
We've like gotten down there on Friday night, just in time for the live stream, basically. And then, but this year we want to be there. Like, so we didn't go to the show at all on Friday. We just went to the show on Saturday
and Sunday.
And Sunday is... It kind of like things are just wrapping up.
Saturday's the best day. Friday's probably the second best day, and Sunday's probably the third best day for the show.
Yeah, so we're gonna get down there Thursday night, so we'll be
there.
Stay
through Sunday.
The whole day Friday, the whole day Saturday.
No, we're gonna get there Thursday during the day. I took off work so we can get there in time. I don't want to be late. I don't want to be rolling in.
Well, it does take us 5 hours, so.
You got Dick from Old Guy Firewood. He's going to be waiting. His shoes are going to be flying. We might do a behind the scenes this year. We don't know what we're going to do, but it's a riot. You guys don't want to miss it.
Hey, if you guys, every year we want to do like a different kind of a video. So if anybody has any, like we already have an idea of what we want to do our Paul Bunyan video of, but if you have anything you want to see or questions or...
Right, we're not just going to show the equipment, because tons of channels do that. We want to do something different. Like last year, we interviewed content creators, and we asked them all the same questions about their channel, like what made you start, what's your best advice, like whatever. We wanted to do something different. So this year we want to do something different. If you have an idea, drop it in the comments. Don't be offended if we don't use your idea, because Rachel vetoes millions of my ideas.
Well, last year your idea came when you were in the shower.
Yeah, I was in the shower at the hotel, and I yell out, I'm like, I got it! And she's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I know what we're going to do! And this was Friday night after the show, so we missed some people that we would have loved to have interviewed on Friday that we saw.
Didn't see them Saturday because it's Saturday is busy. There are a lot
And
of people at the
we
show.
weren't getting there real early on Saturday because
we didn't get
probably
there till about noon.
we had a little bit too much fun Friday evening at the live.
No, I just am not. If I'm not.
The first year you definitely had too much fun.
Oh yeah, the first year.
It was like noon, and I went down to get you some coffee or something, and Don Scheib was down there,
See,
and
Scheib,
he looked to be in about the same shape as you.
Either. Well, the issue is if any minute after midnight that I'm stay up, that's like I need an extra 5 hours of sleep. I really do need my sleep. Studies have shown that women need more sleep than men. So
I mean, I can prove that with my job because some days I just don't sleep. I'm regularly up 30 plus hours.
So any time after midnight, like I used to be able to hang when I was, in my 20s, I could be up till 3, 4 in the morning and get up with the kids at 8 and be like, it's fine and be totally fine. Where now I'm like, oh my gosh, I was up till 12:30 and I don't like getting up early. I feel terrible the whole rest of the day. So we hope to see all of you. If you come to the show, please do not be afraid to say, if you don't say hi, I'm going to be mad at you. Like you need to come say hello to us. Even if you don't have anything to say, just say, hi, I've watched your podcast. I watch your channel, anything.
And I might not know who you are, even because we don't see you. Like we have people that are like, oh, Heath, Rachel. And we have no clue who they are because they comment and we interact with them. But we don't see them. So we don't know what they look like.
No.
And I'm terrible with names. And you could be somebody that I feel like I know on the internet and I could have met you before. I am terrible with names. So do me a favor, when you see me, unless like we're good friends, which there's a few people I would consider pretty good friends.
And even then, he'd ask me what your name is.
Be like, hey, Heath, Rachel, whoever your name is, great to see you again. And then it will kick all the comments and all the interaction.
Wow.
But I might, like she says, a lot of times we walk away and I'm like, who was that? Who was that? It's nothing against you. It's not because I don't value you or.
Oh, that's right.
Oh my gosh, I feel so dumb that I didn't know because my brain just doesn't retain that information. I don't know why.
Yeah, no. So please come say hi.
Introduce yourself.
I will probably say, do
if
you comment on the channel?
Times.
And more often than not, people say no.
Yeah, a lot of people don't, and that's all right. I mean, we love the comments, but
no, I just say hi. I'm just happy to meet anybody, and hopefully you like us.
So I don't even know what we talked about, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And we'll see you guys hopefully next week because we're not missing any more weeks.
No, and we will have another podcast out, even though we'll be at the Bunyan Show.
Yeah, we'll get one recorded.
We'll
and actually, I'd love to do a podcast or two while we're there with other people. So hopefully we can make that happen. We'll lure them into our hotel room and do some guest speaker podcasts.
That would be fun.
Not just the two of us.
We can do that.
We're going to try to get some guest speakers on the podcast, or some guests. They're not guest speakers. Some guests on the Hardworking Man podcast coming to you soon. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, guys, and have a great night.
Bye.